Alright, I'm here to rate my opponents. Both I have fought, my opponents I have fought before. On recording, of course. But I'm gonna rate them here. So number one would be, well, there's more opponents that I fought, more powerful opponents that I fought off screen. But the number one would either be Emmeline Cat 10 or Razy X. Possibly Taco Poppy. So to quickly introduce who these kids are, Taco Poppy is a kid who lives in New York, and he is a good friend of a person I fought off screen. The kid's name is Colleague. Colleague introduced me to Taco Poppy. Taco Poppy is a YouTuber. His YouTube name is previously Taco Warrior, but he stopped making content a while ago. After a Windcraft video. I think it was titled, I broke Windcraft or something. I don't know. But he was pretty good. He was a bit rusty when I fought him, but he still managed to get out a few wins, even though he was rusty. I wasn't rusty at the time. I had a bunch of practice against some other kids. I remember Slycraft. I think it was Sly I fought. And MDX. But Razy X did pretty good. I fought Emmeline Cat and I fought Emmeline Cat and Razy X on the same day. Emmeline Cat is a friend of Colleague 2. A person Colleague met on the internet, but a kid I know in real life knows her in real life. She was pretty good. But there was a kid I know called Anonymous A5, the best PvPer I know. And before we started fighting, she asked him if she could beat me. A5 said yes, she could totally wreck me. And for any of you who watched the video, you know what happened. She lost. And he was very disappointed in her when she lost. That was the fourth fight, I believe. Razy X is a kid I know. He's called David. There's two Davids I know. One of them is MDX, the other one's Razy X. They're different kids. They don't know. They both go to my school, but they probably don't know each other. But A5 commented that Razy X was pretty good at PvP, and he watched, but he didn't watch many of the fights. But in the fights that he did watch, Razy X destroyed me. That was one of the first. Those were the first few fights. Honestly, I felt embarrassed about that. I was telling him that I was gonna beat him up. But I won more of the later. But all it took me was a tactic change to beat him. I believe the end result was I had about 5 more wins than him. Slightly more than him. But it's still, even if it's only slightly more, it was still a win for me. We plan on having a rematch Saturday. So these are the top players. Second place would belong to this kid is also named David. He also goes to my school along with Razy X. Emmeline Cat and Taco Poppy do not go to my school. Taco lives in New York. Emmeline Cat lives an hour away from what Colleague and the other kid I know told me. The MDX, he could potentially be a better PvP. He could potentially be a good PvPer. He uses all his tools in proper ways. The problem is he's just not skilled enough. He lacks PvP skill. That's what drags him down. But to be honest, well, so That was probably the second battle I had with him. In the first battle, he was, well, at the time I was new. I barely won. It was close by one. That one was off screen. The second fight was on screen. Some of you may have seen that one. He was pretty bad. He only got 1 kill on me the entire video, and that was from my flint and steel. So that was kind of sad. Some kids made fun of him at school. Specifically Colleague and A5, I believe. But yeah, but he kind of fought like a coward. And his best friend, Aiden, my Aid, a person I also know from school, called him a weasel. If his best friend calls him a weasel, then he obviously is one. That's kind of sad. But third on the list, this is gonna be a tough one. It's gonna either be Magic Trill or it's gonna be Sly. They're both pretty bad, but I have more respect for Sly than I have for Magic Trill, or also known as Tristigo or Tristan. So I'm putting Sly up here. And the main reason Sly is bad is because he has a bad computer. It runs at 20 FPS or lower. So that's been dragging him down the entire time. So I took pity on him, so I decided to place him in a higher ranking. And the fourth place. Yeah, I don't exactly feel bad about this one. Nobody ever, he's the most hated kid at my elementary school and middle school. Today, I saw some kids tell him to go away at lunch because nobody likes him. So Tristigo has a YouTube channel called Magic Trill. And, well, I don't know how, but he has 61 subscribers. But he's pretty bad at PvP. He lost, if you watch the video, he lost every single match I fought him in. Both Belief. Classic duels, Bridge, he lost all of it. He even rage quit in Bow Duel and Bridge Duel, and he was actually bad enough. He was bad enough to shoot the block under himself in Bow Sleeve. Another reason I placed him down here was because, well, Sly Guy is pretty bad at PvP. But Tristan, over here, it's just he doesn't understand the game. Like he doesn't know you can drown in Minecraft. Like, bro. So basically, here's what happened. I once invited him to a survival server, and he tried to rob this poor man. So I decided to try to scare him away. But and then I took out Diamond Sword and he ran away as fast as he could. He went into the water and tried to run away from me. He died a miserable death. But he thought I killed him. In reality, he drowned himself in water. He thought I killed him. But if I did kill him with a Diamond Sword, he would have died in 2 hits because he had nothing. And I was decked out in full enchanted diamond gear. That's the same thing repeated like 5 times. So honestly, that's one of the reasons they're putting him all the way down here. But now, I'm gonna include our unnamed opponent, opponents I fought off screen. So, including opponents I fought off screen, number 1, Anonymous A5. It's no contest. He beat every other kid on the list. Number 2 goes to Colleague. 3 goes to... Well, hold on. Let me revise the list a bit. There's another person... There's a person that I never fought. But he... Wait, forget it. No, I'm only including people that I fought before. Number 3 would go to... No. Number 2 would not be Kolig. Number 3 would be Kolig. Number 2 is Taco Poppy. At the time I fought Taco Poppy, he was rusty, and also he's actually better than Kolig at his maximum power. So I placed him number 2. Number 4 would be Razy X. The only reason I even beat him was because of a tactic change, an unexpected tactic change. It was only because of this reason that I won. 5 goes to Emmeline Cat. She was A5 was disappointed in her when I beat her because he actually expected her to win. So it was kind of a disappointment when I beat her up. We had about 3 other fights off screen, making a total of 4 fights, all of which I won. But keep in mind I'm putting down opponents at the height of their power, at the highest point of their power. Number 6. Well, it'd either be Sanjar Drayed or be MDX. Well, Sanjar J did better against me in PvP, but MDX beat Sanjar, but he did worse, so I assume. So it might have been because Sanjar's fighting method was more effective against me. So I'll place MDX here, Sanjar here. Eighth place goes to CatSnake23. He's the son of my 6th grade teacher. And then next on the list would be probably Sly Guy, perhaps. Magic Trill. Now, there's one person that's actually placed lower than Magic Trill. My age 66, I believe. Also known as the best friend of one of the good friends of MDX. Honestly, this kid literally put efficiency on his sword. He told a server owner to put efficiency on his diamond sword. And honestly, that I don't know why. And this is the kid who also once mined cobblestone with a diamond sword, thinking it was a pick. Absolutely hilarious. And when he fights, he just stands still and let the opponent kill him. He tries to hit whoever comes close. I have an unrecorded battle. It was only 1 duel. But I beat him flawless. He just stood still and let me combo him to pieces. He did much worse than Magic Trill and Sly. And those 2 guys are pretty bad. But now, it's time to place myself on this list. Technically, I've beaten Taco Poppy, who's better than Kolig, but he was not at his height of his power. So, I will put myself here right above all these other guys. I believe that makes me 4th on the list. But now, I'm gonna be including opponents I've never fought before. But and this is just these are all kids I know. But the rankings are based off of what I've heard about them from the other kids I've fought before. So now, Mech Will, possibly better than Kolig. And there was a guy called wait, hold on. Let me try to remember. So there was Mech Will, and then there was Ominous King. From what I've heard, he's better than MDX and Sanjar. Ominous King 99. And then, is there more kids? Buffaloes, yes. From what I've heard, he's placed under Kolik. There's a kid called Justin, who's a friend of Emmeline Cat, an RL friend. I don't know what his Minecraft username is, but I destroyed him in that one fight. So I'll place him beneath Cat Snake. Username unknown. I forgot his username. That's honestly kind of embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. But now, I have to place myself on this list. It either be above Buffaloes or under Buffaloes. Definitely nowhere higher than Kulik. Well, I haven't fought Buffaloes yet, so I guess for now I'll place myself here.